Yes, you may mark your attendance now. Done, all of you? Fine. Fine, all of you have done it marking the attendance. So be in the class. Uh, so how many of you worked on your mini project or your project? You need to you try to draw the class diagram and the sequence diagram. So any one of you is having any diagram to be drawn or to be presented here so that we can discuss on that. Some students are still joining. Yes, I hope all of you are there. I have shared a link with you. So you can follow that particular link. So if you open that particular link, is the screen visible to you? I'm trying to share my screen. Must be visible now. So if you type that particular URL, you will get this particular screen. Then here you are having different option to draw the different diagrams. So this is suitable basically for the use case diagram and the uh, class diagram. Okay, so you can quickly draw some use cases over here. You can take a use case. Instead of lines, you can so you can quickly draw use case diagrams here. can name the use case. Okay, so use case diagram. Now, actually, we are interested in the class diagram. So, we can work with the class diagram. So, you have simple class or interface, enumeration, structured data type, package, primitive data type. Okay, so you have different types. Class, you can have either this class or this class, okay, or simple class. With this, you will be able to specify only name. So, mm, I think we should go for the second one. Just wait. Okay, so let us work with the uh, class diagram. So in the beginning, we draw the analysis class diagram. So you can take the classes. So let us say this we are going for our validate user. Yesterday we discussed about the validate user. Okay. So class diagram for user validation. So how many classes are required? Yesterday we discussed for to validate user, three classes are required. Okay, so one class, this class will be user interface class. This class will be the business layer class, and you need one more class, and this particular class will be the entity class. Okay. So for this, you need to give some name. So what will be the name of this particular class? Suggest any name for this class. This is the GUI class. It is responsible for user inputs. You can view this particular class as login GUI. Okay. Then you can name this particular class as user info. What is the purpose of this class? The purpose of this particular class will be to get the user information from the to get the user information, whereas the purpose of this particular class is to store the user information. So rather it will be actually a table. Okay, so it is also possible that you can use the appropriate other class uh, for that, or simply you can represent that particular class uh, like persistent. It is a persistent class. Okay, so it will make this particular class, or it is going to show that this particular class is a persistent class. Okay, so you have to be familiar with the GUI. So currently we will not use the other part of it. we don't want to show anything in this class in the beginning. Okay, so three classes. Now between these three classes, there will be association relationship. So you can use association relationship between these classes. So usually it is shown with a straight line. Now what will be the name of this particular class? User validator. You can name it as user validator. There is a before. Okay, so this is a simple class diagram, and this particular class diagram it is for the purpose of, or this is this particular diagram is for user validation. Okay, so in this particular class diagram there are three classes, so there can be more than three classes like this. The point to be noted is that at least there will be one class at the user interface. There will be one business layer class where the actual validation will be done, and there will be one class which is at the persistent, which will store the information. Okay, so usually you have uh, only one class at these two layers, and there are many other classes at this particular uh, user access layer. Okay, that means you may be working with more than one data, uh, more than one tables. Okay, so like this you can draw the class diagram. Okay, so this is the analysis class diagram. Once you are finished with the analysis class diagram, you need to go for uh, the sequence diagram for the same. Okay, so this we have drawn for the user validation. Okay, so we have taken one use case. Okay, now like this you can go to the another use case. So issue book. So in the issue book, then what you need one class which will show you the GUI for the issue book. You need one class which will handle the uh, the process of issue book. Okay, so because it is going to handle the process of issue book, so that is why this particular class is also called the controller class. Okay, so sometimes the name given to this particular class, because it is going to control, so the name given to this particular class is controller class. Okay, so the other naming, other name to this particular class is validation controller class. Okay, so it may be user validation controller, or it may be uh, simply validation controller. In the similar fashion, you can give this particular name to this particular class as login GUI, or you can give the name that is validation user validation GUI. Okay, so there are different possible names here. Probably this can be user information, or you can particularly give the name member information, because this is a library management system, and the information of members you are storing there. So it may be member info, or it may be simply member. Okay, so usually that will be a table. So that is why we are calling it as persistent. Okay. So, like this, there is association between this. Okay, so these two classes, they are common, they are associated with each other. These two classes are associated with each other. Okay. The purpose of this login GUI is to accept the inputs from the user and to display the output to the user. After input is accepted, then it will be given to the validation controller. Validation controller will ask the user information class about what is the password of the corresponding user. This particular user information class being a table, so it will, so query is fired on this table, and it will respond with the appropriate uh, password of that user. Then this user controller will try to match, will apply the compare algorithm between the two strings. If the two strings match, the password that is obtained from login GUI and the password that is obtained from this user information GUI, if they match with each other, then then there is a login successful. So that particular message is given to the login GUI, and it will display it. Okay. So like this, for validating the user, how many classes do you need? You need these three classes. Okay, and we have fixed up the responsibilities of each of these particular classes. Okay, so like this, you need to identify the responsibility of each of the class, and you need to see whatever is required to be implemented as a part of this particular user validation. Okay, so what is our use case? Actually, our use case is user validate user. So what is this? Is the collaboration. Okay, so this is the collaboration. User validate user. So I'm in again. Am I audible? Okay. So I think I shared the screen, but now it may not be visible. Okay. So this is the class diagram that we have drawn. So now for the different use cases, you need to draw the different class diagram like this. Okay, so it may happen that when you go from one use case to the another use case, then you may need some classes which you have already used in other class diagrams. So it may likely happen that you will be using the same classes, particularly the persistent classes, user information. You are using here user information. You'll be using in other class diagram also. Okay, so like this, corresponding to every use case, you will be having the class diagram like this. Okay, so I expect that all of you will work on the class diagrams like this, and you will come up with the class diagram for the various use cases which are there in your either mini project or which are there in your final year projects. Okay, so that we'll be able to discuss those class diagram and the sequence diagram. Okay, so next time we shall draw sequence diagram also. uh, this particular tool which I have sent you, okay, so it has limited support I get for the diagrams. So uh, let us see whether we will be able to draw the other diagrams or not. Okay, so it has got limited support, so I will give you some other tool with which you will be able to draw the other diagrams. Okay, it has support for the sequence diagram also. Okay, but I don't think, or is it there or not? Yes, it is there. Okay, so you will be able to draw sequence diagram also. Okay, so okay, that screen was not presented. Uh, you can see here that it has got to the support for the sequence diagram. Okay, so you can have a lifeline. So this is the lifeline. So here you can have the object of the login GUI. Okay, so like this you can create the object of validation controller, object of user information, and then you can show the sending of messages. Okay, so we shall see this in the next class. Okay. Tomorrow again we have the class at same time. So